In today's video, we're talking about...
I'm not there yet.
Welcome back to the Two Bros in a Budget YouTube channel. I'm your bro Ryan.
And I'm your bro Taylor.
And in today's video, we're talking about how much money you can expect to make at different stages of life and the financial priorities you should be focused on during each stage.
Stop wasting money on that dumb shit and instead put it in investment. I know it's tempting. You'll spend it and be broke again.
So I know a lot of people are always wondering, am I making enough money? And while it's going to be hard to put an exact number on what you should be making per life stage, we're going to give you some good ranges and some of the variables that can kind of play into that to kind of give you your best idea of like, okay, I'm actually doing better than I thought. I'm kind of where the average is, or maybe I'm exceeding a little bit, or maybe I'm being underpaid a little bit. I should maybe look around or negotiate for a little bit better salary. Hopefully you can get an idea by the end of this video. So we're going to jump right into it and start at your early to mid 20s, kind of where you're just starting your career. It's going to be a bit of a wide range here because there are so many variables such as education, where you are in the country, all those kind of things. So the range here is going to be anywhere from $30,000 to $70,000. Now I know that's a wide range, but let's say you're someone coming out of high school looking to start their career. You're going to be on average making a little bit less, around $37,000 a year, versus someone who's coming out of college with a degree being expected to make a little bit over $60,000 a year. So right there you can kind of see those two big variables, or really one big variable in your education, having such a big impact.
It's hard to grasp all the different industries and all the different places you can work in those industries. So the biggest factor that's going to affect all of this is what field you decide to go into.
Yeah.
Because if you decide coming out of high school you want to be a plumber and you go through all of that without, you could even go to trade school and all of that, but then you become 10 years, 15 years in, you're going to be making great money, even though you don't have that college education. So that's just one factor. And then some people that go for say some kind of degree that's not in STEM, they're usually going to make lower even though they have the college education. So there's just so many factors to do. So jumping over to the priorities for your early to mid 20s, at this time, you're not really expecting to make a huge salary. This is where you're just getting off the ground, just figuring out your financial well-being, just figuring out what is finances and all the rest of it. So starting out, absolutely at this age, you should be learning how to manage your finances, tracking your expenses, and creating a budget. It's so crucial to create a budget, especially this early on. You're also going to want to start saving for emergencies. So establishing an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of living expenses, anywhere really, high yield savings account, in cash, whatever you want to do. There's different ways to do this, and this isn't the video for the best way to do this, just the idea of start that emergency fund, get it funded. You can get it funded in your early to mid 20s. You are starting off so well.
Yeah.
And then lastly, you're going to want to invest in yourself. This might mean further education, professional development, networking, doing a trade. This could be reading and getting a certification, anything at all. It's just you want to be developing, starting on early, starting just that foundation so you can build from there. Build that habit so you can keep growing from there.
So moving on beyond that is where you're kind of getting well into your career now. You've established yourself a little bit more, typically anywhere from the mid 20s to mid 30s. This is where a lot of people are advancing in their career, maybe thinking about starting a family, buying a house, making a lot of big changes in their life. So obviously we're going to want to make a bigger salary here. And again, this is going to be a bit of a wide range, but anywhere from $60,000 to $120,000. Obviously, as you progress from mid 20s to mid 30s, you're going to kind of want to progress through that a little bit, because you should be expecting to advance kind of at almost every year along the way, hoping to get a little bit raises, maybe a position change within there that causes a little bit of a jump. But we're going to be wanting to be able to fund a lot of big things. I mean, starting a family, buying a house, a down payment, crazy expensive.
So looking at some of the priorities in this age range of mid 20s to mid 30s, you're going to want to start paying down debt, managing your student loans if you went and needed those, paying down your credit card debt if you built that up, or other debts that you've just happen to build up for whatever reason. You're going to want to pay those down. Now, if you started a budget in your early to mid 20s and you've been paying attention to all that, you probably don't have all these debts, which is fantastic. But if you didn't, this is something you're definitely going to want to focus on. Like Taylor said, you're going to be trying to buy a house, so you're going to want to save for that down payment. Home ownership is extremely expensive, but very rewarding, and a lot of people move into that, so start saving that down payment now. You're also going to start taking advantage of, if you haven't already, starting to invest, contributing to your retirement accounts like your 401ks, your IRAs, and just start early. Because if you start early, it's so much less hassle and so much less work to build up something substantial than if you wait towards the end and go, oh my gosh, I'm 45, having started retirement. You're going to have to double, triple the amount you're investing just to catch up for that time lost. So start early, way less work, and it's going to just give your money time to grow on its own, do all the work without you.
Yeah, time works for you in that case. Time is the biggest factor when investing. So in this next stage, typically is where a lot of people cap out or reach a peak of financial earning because they are well placed in their career. You're in your mid 30s to mid 40s. You know, you have a family to support, so you're motivated to make the most amount of money. A good salary range to be expecting is anywhere from 100 to 200,000. Now I know six figures is kind of something that a lot of people are like, oh, I'll never meet that. Well, you know, you should be striving and constantly working to advance yourself. If you've been investing in yourself, working hard in your career, hopefully you can reach this mile marker of making six figures. And at this point, a lot of your focus is going to shift towards savings.
And again, this is a wide range. And just like Taylor said, a lot of people might never reach 100,000+, and that's okay. You just have to live within your means. You have to, if you make less than 100, you got to live with less than 100.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. And two, if you look at your career, maybe your career doesn't reach 100,000, and you can look at it early on or where you're at now and say, but I could use this knowledge or some of this to move into a different career that definitely does reach that. So maybe that's a good time to think about it. It depends on where you're at in life, what career you're in,
what your goals
industry
are.
you're in. Exactly. So it's just so many things, again, can fluctuate with that. Some people reach that before they're 30. So just think about it that way. But now looking at some of those priorities during that mid 30s to mid 40s time in your life, at this point, you're really going to want to maximize your retirement savings. You're going to be contributing the maximum amount to retirement, especially the maximum to get your company match. You're really going to want to start saving for child's education. If you have multiple children, you should have maybe already started, just because it's getting heftier and heftier every year. It's gone up in expenses. At this point, you should have started not only paying off all your smaller debts, but maybe your larger debts and managing a lot of those larger expenses, like your mortgage payments, your childcare costs, and other family expenses. And you should definitely have that emergency fund built up. And you should start getting more strategic with your investments at this point in life. Having a diversified investment portfolio is fantastic, and talk to a professional for that, and just manage your risk at this point in life.
All right, next stage is kind of your pre-retirement stage, where you're in your 50s, working up to that retirement age there. Your priorities are probably starting to shift here. Maybe your kids are out of the house, but you still want to be making good money. So at this stage, your salary may actually take a slight dip from what it was in the previous one, just because, again, your priorities change. But still, you want to be kind of aiming around that six figures mark, just because retirement is expensive. Everything's getting more expensive over time. Now, of course, at this stage, if you feel you've already been pretty well established and you shift to part-time work, obviously you're not going to be making, well, who knows? Maybe you are still making six figures. Maybe you got set yourself up real nice, but a lot of times the salary will decrease, obviously, if you work less hours.
Yeah, at this point in your life, that hustle culture is starting to fade away a little bit. You're starting to prioritize maybe visiting the kids in college. You're starting to prioritize retirement and traveling more. You're starting to prioritize different things. So yeah, your salary probably will come down or stay the same. Who knows? That, again, can range drastically. But since your priorities are changing, let's talk about some of those things you should prioritize. So at this point, you should be planning your retirement income, where your income is going to come in, how much you expect your living expenses to be, and how you're going to pay for those expenses, especially once you're completely retired and you don't have that W-2 income. You're going to be wanting to manage and set up or plan for your healthcare costs. Healthcare is incredibly expensive, and that is one of the biggest expenses for retirees. You're also going to want to start setting up estate planning, creating a will or a trust to ensure your assets are distributed according to your wishes. Honestly, lastly, this is just where you enjoy all your hard work. You've really built up that retirement. Hopefully you've gone through the plan, watched all our videos. You've built up that retirement. You've planned accordingly. Your healthcare is covered. Your emergency fund set up. All of that's good to go. You know where your income's coming in. It's covering your expenses and then some. You're just looking great. This is just where you enjoy all that hard work. And you just travel. You, again, visit the kids. You travel the United States for the best restaurant in each state. Whatever you do, you go to all the Michelin restaurants, anything like that, and you just enjoy it. And as you can see how this video is set up, it's based on life stages, it's based on age ranges. And if you're wondering, okay, I get what I'm supposed to prioritize, but I'm at this point in my life, where should my retirement goals be? We have a video on that talking about what your 401k or IRA balance should be. So go check that out. We have a really cool video on that and many other things. If you have the question, go to our channel, type it in the search, and I bet you'll find it, what you're looking for.
Now, keep in mind, this is all well and good and everything, but if your salary is outside of any of these ranges, by no means are we dictating what success is. And of course, there are so many things that go into this. Someone in Arkansas typically makes less than someone living in California. So like we said at the very beginning, there are so many factors that go into this. What your goals are and what you actually achieve is different. Don't compare yourself to others. Just make sure that you have set you and your family up to be safe and secure. Really, that's the biggest goal that people typically have, is just making sure their family's taken care of and themselves.
So let us know in the comments if you want us to compare different industries. So because you're curious what the top industries are or where you can make money, the easiest industries to enter. We can do videos on that. Please let us know in the comments. If you like this video so far, please give us a like. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And thank you guys so much for watching.
Stop wasting money on that dumb shit and instead put it in investment. I know it's tempting. You'll spend it and be broke again.